the Russian permanent ambassador to the UN Security Council has said that the American bombing of the Syrian troops was intentional. He doesn't believe it was an accident. It was designed to destroy the ceasefire and bring the situation out of control. And he questioned who is in control in the United States. Is it the White House or the Pentagon? The Pentagon's being used as a scapegoat. It's being stated that, oh, it's a rogue development, it's a rogue group that have done this. That's what they always say when things go wrong. So these Syrian troops have been stuck there for about 3 years, surrounded by ISIS forces. Apart from a brief period, they've always controlled the very hilltop where they were hit. It's within seemingly a Syrian military base. And indeed, the United States, it would appear, has disrupted the whole ceasefire. Since then, there are reports that the Syrian Air Force and the Russian Air Force have bombed ISIS, who then took advantage of the situation and sent them back, and the Syrian army has retaken the position. But there's nearly 100 deaths, 65 or 80, depending on whose reports you listen to, and about 100 injuries. And it had just been announced that 1,000 reinforcements of Syrian military were being sent to Deir Al Zour, obviously to try to break out of being surrounded by ISIS. But they'd been surrounded for 3 years. There are no so-called moderate rebels in that area. At the very same time, Israel bombs in the Golan Heights, where there was also death and injury to the Syrian forces. It shows coordination. Now, I'm of the opinion that Israel controls America, and some people will give this lip service and not really believe it. If you look at ancient Greece, there were just some little city-states, Athens, etc. Their empire went all the way to Iran, thousands of miles. Little Israel controls the United States. The wars in the Middle East are for Israel. Now the issue is, what can Russia do? The outspokenness that Churkin has given in the UN is very out of character and unusual. Putin did offer some regrets in the last day or two that America is not abiding by the ceasefire agreements. But this was an outspoken diplomacy. He also says a UN security meeting that had been arranged is just a show. It's nothing. Now, clearly, what the Zionists need to do at this moment, because it's bad publicity, is create a diversion. Another major news event. If some people get killed, it's okay. It's not important. People are just fodder. We saw that on 9/11. So you just create an explosion somewhere, some major diversion to take Syria off of the front pages of the newspapers. Now, if you look at Afghanistan, America has repeatedly bombed weddings and funerals, family get-togethers, wiped out entire families, repeatedly, I don't know how many times. Every time America says, oh, it was an accident. Well, the world is growing in turning against the United States. I mean, that's the popular will of the world, and this is certainly negative news for the US. But it can probably continue with impunity. It is anyway a sacrificial lamb. Israel will send America to its deathbed. It's of no loss to Israel. You know, there was one young guy in America, he killed somebody, and he went to Israel and said he was Jewish, and Israel refused to allow him to be extradited back to the United States. Just yesterday, the day before, they shot a Jordanian in Jerusalem, shot him dead, and the Jordanian embassy saying it was a cold-blooded murder. These people act with impunity. There is no calling them to justice. The objectives of the war have always been to keep the Arabs killing each other. If it suited America, or Israel I should say, it would bomb ISIS if ISIS were gaining the upper hand. Whatever continues the fighting and the chaos is in Israel's interests. It does not want a ceasefire. It will not allow it. And Russia is very provoked at this stage, but it can't really rise to the provocation. It can't go to war with America. It can't really overstep its boundaries because its central bank is owned by the Rothschilds. It's full of magnates and moguls, oligarchs in Russia that could be brought to their knees and bankrupted. So, and also there's a huge Zionist control and influence in Russia as well. When you have all the financial institutions of the world in the control of people dressed in black, following a supposed religion, declaring themselves as a race, they can act with impunity. And the world, in essence, is being flooded with drugs and alcohol and deviance. Now that is not divorced from what I'm saying. We never hear it, so we never consider it. And I'm not propagating, Christianity or piousness. I'm just saying the mass consciousness of the earth is at a very low vibration. They're constantly being pushed with low vibrations.